We're going to look at a police officer teaches these students more in 5 minutes than probably any professor they have is going to teach them in the next 4 years.
Show me another country that give opportunities for all people like America
Do you
does.
think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start on us and no
What's
reparations?
stopping you now? Aren't you at this university?
Yeah.
All you can do is move forward in the best way possible with what you have access to.
You're at the university just like all these white people. How's that any different? Can't you?
I want you to go two blocks that way and tell me where they at.
The only thing you are in control of is how you respond to what comes at you.
And how is it stopping you from being prosperous enough to go down the street and make a difference in your own community? How is America stopping you from doing that?
Why is it my responsibility to make a difference in my community that was sabotaged from the start?
And this is a perfect example. Stories are powerful things. They can get in the way.
Do you think the CIA planted drugs in our communities?
They didn't make you sell it. Why are you not selling drugs right now? Because it doesn't make sense for you to do that. You have an opportunity to go to a university, get an education, and make yourself better and make your family better in the next few generations. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. I'm sitting on campus right now, and all these people are listening to me.
You know what's stopping
me?
Money.
Normally, I would go to the socioeconomic lens argument. He does something interesting here and goes a slightly different route.
How did I pay my loan off and you can't?
This is an effective argument because this officer is an example.
I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Dunbar High School.
Fort Worth,
right
Texas.
in the hood and stop 6. Right in the hood and stop 6. How did I get to this point if America's against me?
Did everybody in your neighborhood get to that point?
Well, different choices. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that made it out because they made better choices.
There's always going to be inequality, a disparity in outcome.
I could have sold drugs. I didn't. Why? Because I wanted something better out of my life.
What do you say about the disproportionate wealth? Does that not matter?
Disproportionate wealth will always exist. There will always be people that have more than others.
It's about culture. How much money do you save?
I don't know. I'm in debt, bro.
You in debt. How much do you invest?
I don't know.
How did you get into debt?
It's this avoidance of admitting to personal agency or responsibility.
Who chose to come here?
Me.
Well, that's you laid it out. Now, when you come here, for every college student here, this should be an investment into your future.
Right.
Anybody that know anything about making money knows that you have to invest to get to the next step.
How are we supposed to know anything about making money? Who's teaching us to do this?
How are we supposed to know how to make money if no one teaches us? Okay, but you have to have the agency to want to learn.
We should teach each other to do it. Why does somebody got to teach? You want the white man to teach us? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, hell, teach us something.
There's nothing a white person can do that you can't do.
Okay, no, you could teach something. You got a college, you can get a college education. When you have children, teach your children.
So basically help yourselves.
Yes, help yourself. No one else is going to do it.
Have you ever heard of generational trauma, generational wealth? My people don't own anything.
When you say your people, are you talking about your family socioeconomic status or all people that have the same skin color as you?
Where you come
nothing.
from?
How can you build something when my people come from nothing? I come from South Memphis.
And I come from Stop 6.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I went to university.
What does comparison mean? What does comparison mean when the statistics say that we are behind?
We are not behind. Some people are behind.
That's a much more precise way to articulate this. Some people are behind, always will be behind. There will always be a disparity.
We're not behind. Why? Because we make positive decisions. He's not behind. He's not behind. She's not behind. Do I want to go point out
a college campus?
But does college guarantee us success?
Is college a guarantee for success? No. That's his point, is that your decisions.
It depends on what you do with what you have presented to you. Not everybody's hand is the same.
And we have nothing in our hands. That's the point.
Let me say this. You can have a full deck of great cards and you play them poorly, you won't make it in life. You can have a bad hand. You play them strategically and you play them right, you'll do good in life.
Everyone is going to have a different hand. And what is the alternative to that?
You made positive decisions that led you here. That's the hand you've been dealt. Everybody don't have a freaking silver spoon in their mouth. America is the only place.
They proportionately
Who is they?
Everybody else, man.
Everybody else like who?
That is the most revealing part of this exchange. When you ask him, who is they? Everybody else.
Are you saying white people? Brother, you in the same situation as all these white people and you playing the victim.
Am I?
What's your GPA now?
3.6.
Brother, what's holding you back then?
That's the point. Everybody doesn't have a 3.6. everybody is
Do
not.
you just get a 3.6 because you woke up one day? You studied, didn't you?
What does a 3.6 GPA have to do with race?
You're a product of your decision making. And that's not a black thing. It's a everybody thing. There's poor white people in this country too. Do you not forget that? Most people on food stamps are white.
Here we arrive at the shutdown.
If poverty was just relegated to black people, it would only be black people that are poor.
You talking on a script. I can't listen.
All right, come on.
It's ironic because this student is speaking from a script far more so than Officer Tatum. Then we have another student step up to the microphone.
How are they able to manipulate the situation when the outcomes are very much outweighing and having negative consequences?
We're looking at a completely different character now. The eye contact, the sincerity, you can immediately detect that non-verbally, just through the body language.
That's a good question. What they're doing is they're weaponizing our struggle to sell us a lie.
This is the psychology of how the character resonates with the audience.
When I was growing up, I never thought about being a doctor. I didn't know a doctor. I knew a whole bunch of dudes playing college football. I knew a whole bunch of dudes rapping. I wanted to be like Tupac was my favorite rapper.
The heroes in our own lives, and what is the story that we write around those characters? What do we derive as being possible?
We just didn't have the vision. And it's unfortunate that just gets perpetuated and celebrated time and time again.
Conflict drives story. When you're watching sports teams clash, it makes for a very engaging story.
There's life outside of just this glam of athletics and entertainment.
When you feel eyeballs on something, you perceive it as having value. And that's one of the components here. Psychologically, we look where other people are looking. If a lot of people are standing outside looking up in the air when you walk by, you're going to stop and look up in the air as well.
We need to start finding other people to look up to than just LeBron. I remember when I was in college and I took Africana Studies.
This is a great example of the power of story right here.
My first class, we learned about lynching. I was so mad. I was so mad at white people when I saw that.
He's talking about how this elicited an emotional response in him that caused him to literally hope for conflict walking through the school quad.
That I used to walk through campus and I would walk straight and I'd be like, let a white person bump into me. I had this anger and hatred that I had when I saw how they did these black people. Do you go with hatred or do you understand what has happened and you want to be better? How am I any different than a white person? Let me tell you this. I want to say this.
That's the psychological truth at the whole center of this.
They're saying that black people are less than white people. Because right now, every black person on this campus should understand that there's nothing that a white person can do that you can't do. And if you don't feel that way, you've been tricked.
And how do you get tricked? Through stories.
Look at this woman still talking. Can you be respectful?
She comes back in, this person off to the side. How could you possibly be that upset about what he's saying right now?
Why don't you come to the mic? You're disrespecting another sister.
And notice how she just refuses to actually come up and engage.
All you're doing is disrespecting everybody that's coming to the mic. Let me move on. Let me move on. Because you're drawing attention to you.
And this is a classic pattern.
You're in my ear. You're in my ear.
And look, I'm getting the attention I want, right?
Really? This is the attention you want?
Not really, but that's what you think. So
I don't think nothing. I just want you to stop and come to the mic. It's just simple, man.
What is it about these speakers that hold these ideas that allow them to become bulletproof in these interactions?
You can't have a mentality like this. This is how people fail in life.
No one seems to be able to contend with this. It's as though they have tapped into logical observations about the very fabric of reality. And this goes beyond politics.
You gotta have decorum, even if you disagree with somebody. You gotta have a level of decorum. But anyway, let me move on to the next question. You have a next question?
Everyone that comes at them just seems to hate it and want to try and dissect them and prove them wrong, but no one seems to be able to do it. What is it about these ideas that seem to be so self-evident in a way?